Hi there everyone, this is Laura, Director of Successful Spirit Summit and founder of Virtual Tarot School. Welcome to 2013. Here we are. I've got a new course coming out that I want to tell you guys a little bit more about, and the course is called Tarot for Career and Business. And I'm actually telling more than just the folks over on, keeping in touch with Virtual Tarot School about this course, because it does very, very neatly fill in the gap that I hardly ever talk about over at Successful Spirit Summit. And that gap is how to integrate your intuitive knowledge and guidance into your business plans, into your marketing, into your next career move. Now, I hardly ever talk about that over at Successful Spirit Summit because in the past I've felt like there's just so much to learn for most people about the rest of marketing. The summit generally has a little bit of a focus on online marketing for people. And where I've been going with that recently is online marketing as a tool to really free yourself up from the constraints of time that are usually put on most of us in businesses. So for instance, if you're a massage therapist for a living, you trade your time for money ordinarily. You get $100 or $200 for doing, a 90-minute session or a 3-hour session with someone, and then you have to go and you have to find and you have to sell another session to get your next $100 to $200. And so this continues, and your time in that way is completely shackled to your income, and your income is shackled to your time. So there's a possibility there for most of us in marketing and choosing to go to online marketing to sort of fill out the gaps. And that possibility is to sort of unhook our time to money relationship. So in other words, if I sell a course online, like I sell my Tarot for Beginners course, right? I created that course once upon a time, and because I then have the recordings of that course for you guys to go through at your leisure, I get to sell it to you at a great discount over, what a live course would be, because I don't physically have to be there to teach you. It's a recording, right? So usually if you have a Tarot for Beginners course, how I've taught that in person in the past has been sort of a weekend format. It's about a 15 to 20 hour course, so it's like an immersive weekend or an immersive 3-day course. And as many of you know, an immersive 3-day course or workshop, usually runs you somewhere between $100 and $300, right? Now, the Tarot for Beginners course that we have here at Virtual Tarot School is able to sell for only $67. And the reason for that is because the time equals money equation has been broken. It's a recording, so because we don't have the overhead of the place to put the course, and because you don't have the overhead to deal with of taking my personal time to teach, that course can be sold at a fraction of the cost of a live course. But of course, the good news there on my end as a business owner is if I find a course or a class or a service that I can offer virtually in a recorded format, and I can get it in front of people, then that enables me to have a stream of income going on underneath, whatever I do with the rest of my life, that's just sort of chugging along in the background. So money just sort of, not magically, but it just sort of pops into the bank account every month because people have bought the course online, and I don't really have to worry about it in the same way that a massage therapist has to worry about booking sessions for people, right? So that whole idea of online marketing, of recorded content and how to get that content in front of people and how to present it in a way that they want to buy it so that you have a passive stream of income coming in, is what I generally focus on over at Successful Spirit Summit. But guess what? This summit has it's inspired a lot of people, it's launched a lot of businesses, but we never really get the chance to talk in that summit about how to really deal with your intuitive guidance around your career and business. I sort of have to make the assumption, because I usually have so much to cover in Successful Spirit Summit as far as logistics and online marketing goes, that I just kind of have to assume that everyone in the room that I'm teaching already knows what they want to do. And I've found over the last year or two that that's actually usually a false assumption. I mean, for one thing, when your horizons really expand as far as what is possible for you in terms of what you could make money doing in your life, then all of a sudden, it's wonderful, it's exciting, it's inspiring. People get very energized by that, but after that, usually what sinks in next is sort of an, oh my goodness, I have no idea what I am supposed to be doing with my life sort of a feeling. Because, we have all kind of put these limits on what is possible for us in career and business. Practically speaking, because we haven't been educated on what is possible. And as soon as that realm of infinite possibility opens up for us again, it's like starting over. And that can actually be, I know that sounds very exciting and expansive and positive, but it can actually be very frightening for people as well, especially if you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s, and you feel like you really have known what you were supposed to be doing with your life this whole time, and then all of a sudden this giant wrench of possibility is thrown into the machinery. It can be very disconcerting. I've had people come up to me in tears going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life anymore. And really and truly, the best answers that I have for those people, the best support that I can offer for those people in those moments of radical reassessment of why you are even here. What is your life purpose? What is your dharma? How does that interact with what you do for money? All of those questions come up, and the answer to those questions, the support for those questions, does not come through the content of Successful Spirit Summit. It has to come from the realm of my intuitive world, the realm of how I interact with tarot cards, how I interact with people's psychic awareness, people's dream world, all of that. That is where those big life purpose questions usually get answered best. So after people have gone through all of the trainings at Successful Spirit Summit and they're chugging along and they're making their online businesses and all of that, usually the next step I'm finding, I'm kind of at this point now where I've been running Successful Spirit Summit for a couple of years, and the next step is always that somehow we end up playing with cards to get them answers that come from their own intuition, from their own unconscious mind, rather than anything that's out there in an online business model. The two go hand in hand, right? So here are some things that I'm really hoping to address in this new course that I'm going to be running. And this course that I'm going to be running is live right now, and that's why I'm emailing you guys about it right now, is because it's brand new and I need some seed students into this course to go through it with me live. And that means you'll be getting live readings from me via telecast or webcast, and these are the kind of things that we'll be looking at in this course. If you knew via your intuitive guidance, via tarot readings or whatever that is for you, which career and business moves would bring you the most success, which career and business moves would bring you the most money, which career and business moves would bring you the most satisfaction, what would life be like if you had all of that doubt and trepidation and resistance, or maybe even hesitancy or reticency taken out of the picture for you? If you had a couple of different possibilities in front of you, and perhaps you'd had a couple of hard months and you just really weren't getting a clear emotional hit on which you could get really behind enthusiastically, that just wasn't coming for whatever reason, but a tool like the tarot could give that to you. Life would be more certain. You could, in my experience, when people have certainty, when they have an absolute congruent knowledge that comes from really tapping in a deep way to their intuitive guidance, whether with help from someone like me or by themselves, if they can make their decisions with 100% of that intuitive guidance on board with them, with their intuition, with their card reading saying, yes, this is definitely what you should be doing right now, that has such a profound impact on how much success they can have in that next career or business move. For instance, if you really don't know whether, your next career move is something that is sort of divinely ordained or, part of your dharma or whatever your language is for that, it's what you should be doing, right? If you don't know 100% that it is really what you should be doing on a soul level, how easy is it for you to really put your heart and soul and 100% of your energy into that endeavor? And as we all know, if you can't put 100% of your energy into your career or your next business move, if you can't completely be there with that in complete confidence and knowing, then you're not going to bring yourself to whatever you're doing in a massive way. And as we all know, the people who succeed in this world with their projects are the people who are able to really bring it 100%, right? So if you can't do that, then it's sort of like, well, you're probably not going to do so well at this right out of the gate, and we know that. But if you could do that, then everything changes. You become the success story because you were 100% in congruence and full knowing that this was exactly what you were supposed to be doing next, and you completely threw yourself into it. You completely surrendered yourself to that project because you had the confidence of knowing that it was absolutely what you should be doing. And that's what really good intuitive readings and tarot readings can do for your career and your business. It can really be the difference between success and failure. So if you knew not only what you should be doing next, but when, that's the next thing that comes in that tarot can be really great about, I had 10 projects that I laid out and did readings on for myself in December. December's a month where I take a step back, and it's the winter, and I sort of assess, where I'm going next in my business and my life. And I do tarot card readings for finding that knowledge in a deep way. So I don't just ask what projects, although I do. My first question is, what projects are the ones that are really it for me? What are the projects that are really Laura's projects this year? After I've got that figured out, the next thing is, when do I do these? And then what manner do they show up in? So for instance, I've got a project that I'm doing right now that's a fundraiser project that I'm doing a startup on. And I know that is like the first thing that I need to be doing this year. It's not the thing I need to be doing in July, it's the thing I need to be doing now. Why do I know that? Because I did intuitive readings on it to figure out the when. Okay? And then once you've got the what and the when figured out, you get to ask deeper questions about what form those projects are going to succeed best for you in. So for instance, if you've got a business project up and you should be working for someone else to get that project up the ground, or you should just be investing in a project that looks like this, or you should be collaborating with others, or there's something you need to do that you're a lone ranger in and you're working completely by yourself, or the project requires you moving to another location. All of those questions are questions that you can get much more specific on via tarot readings and via intuitive readings. And I keep saying intuitive because we're going to kind of play with some other tools in this course as well. Tarot is going to be the main one. I don't want to ruin it for you. So let me give you, I think you kind of get the value of really learning to work with the tarot for any questions that come up for you in your career and business. So I've got a 6-week course that we're going to be going through here. In this 6-week course, you're going to learn to do 6 different types of spreads that really have a profound influence on your decisions in career and business. And we're going to break these up in the following way for you. In the first week, we're going to be doing choice spreads. These are tarot card spreads that allow you to choose between 1, 2, 3, 10, 12 different ideas that you might have for things that you want to go into or job opportunities that are coming your way, and to get insight on those ideas. So choice spreads are they're one of these spreads that obviously you could use choice spreads in other areas of your life besides career and business, right? You could use these in relationship, you could use these with your hobbies, you could use these with health, with your physical body. You know, do I need to be rock climbing or swimming? Do I need to be on a raw foods diet or an alkalizing diet? I mean, you can use choice spreads for all sorts of things, but we're going to really focus in this particular course on choice spreads surrounding the issues of career and business, because of course there are specific ways to interpret the cards for career and business, where if those same cards came up in a reading on romance, for instance, you would interpret them in a little bit of a different way, even though they're the same cards. So I hope that makes sense. How we're going to actually conduct these sessions, these are live sessions that you guys get to be on. They're also going to be recorded for you if you can't make them live, so don't completely hinge your decisions here on whether you can make the webcast or not. But here's how it kind of goes. So week 1, we know that we're doing choice spreads for career and business. You can all, in that week, send me an email around some choice that you think you would like more clarity on in the realm of career, business, money, finance, wealth, anything like that. You can send me an email about it. Maybe the email is something like, "Hi Laura, I've got a job opportunity in Denver, and I've got an opportunity to work for myself right where I am. Which opportunity, I have to pull myself into one or the other 100%, which opportunity looks better for me? Can you talk to me about those two opportunities and give me insight on both of them so that I can make a choice here?" That kind of a question would be ideal, for instance, for week 1. So you would just email me a little question like that. And then what I do on my end is I just compile all of those questions onto slides, kind of like the presentation slides that you're watching on this video right now. I just kind of type them out on a little slide like this. And then I do a card reading. In this case, I would be doing a choice spread on that subject for you. So for instance, in week 1, if we have 10 people email me questions, and I hope we have 10, you all get a little reading, one of these choice spreads done for you, and I take pictures of the spreads and then we talk about them over the webcast. Via talking about them, not only do you get answers for your own questions, but you also, of course, get to learn right along with us how to actually do those tarot spreads, and I teach you how to do them and how I'm interpreting the cards, so that after this course is done, you then have the ability, the tool in your resource pack of being able to do these tarot card spreads for yourself at any point that you want. So you learn a skill here. You could even start doing this for other people after this course is done, right? So not only do you get your own cards read, but you get to learn how to read them in these courses, which is going to be really useful. I mean, this is a life skill, so you can take this with you and use tarot in this way whenever you want. So just really quickly, I'll go over the next 5 weeks of the course. So career goal roadmap spreads, they're a little bit different, and in week 2 we're going to be looking at those. So sometimes some of the insights that we need in career and business don't span from what we want to be doing. Like sometimes it's very clearly like, please tell me what I want to be doing next. What's the best idea for me to do next? But sometimes we know what we want to do. We know what our desired outcome is in a certain project. We just need more information on how to get there, what to expect on the road to that goal. So a really good example of this, for instance, I run a large yoga festival most summers. And, so perhaps my goal for that festival this year would be to make it more financially profitable to me and to serve nonprofits in a bigger way through the event. So I know that's my goal. So what I would do there is I would choose a card to represent that goal, and then the rest of the card reading is sort of paths on that road to that goal that I just need a little more insight on. What obstacles am I going to overcome this year? What's this going to bring up emotionally for me? How are the people around me going to help or hinder me reaching this goal? What am I going to have to do that's really difficult for me to get off my butt and do to reach this goal this year? All of that type of thing is in the career goal roadmap spreads that we're going to be addressing in week 2. Because oftentimes we do, don't we? We know what our goal is, we just don't really clearly know how we're going to get there. Okay, week 3, productivity prescription spreads. I don't know whether that's what I'll actually call them when we do them, guys, but productivity is a huge part of career and business, right? Maybe you've had this experience where that you need to be doing something in a more productive way, but you feel like you're spinning your wheels, or you just can't get it together to do what you need to do, or something always comes up to kind of sabotage you working on this project, or for whatever reason it just isn't happening in a productive enough way. Right? So in the productivity spreads, we're going to look at how you can be more productive, how you can reach your goals in a more efficient manner, what might be really hindering a project that you might not have seen. So perhaps with the productivity prescription, maybe your family actually doesn't want you to be doing your goal, be doing your career unconsciously. This will sometimes happen, right? I mean, I had one business where a former partner of mine really, really, really did not want me to succeed because he knew that if I succeeded in this, he would kind of lose me in a sense, in other ways in our lives. So he was actually unconsciously voting for this project to fail, and that was an insight that I got through an intuitive reading, because it was really very difficult for me to look at that in my conscious waking mind. So I needed that insight through an intuitive reading, and then I was able to help him figure out how to separate his own needs out from what was in my best interest, and that was the only way I could really get this project off the ground, because he was really sabotaging it. So, stuff like that can come up in the productivity prescription spread, and as soon as you take care of those issues that come up, then, you could just go full steam ahead on your project. So that's week 3. Week 4 has more to do with the big life purpose type stuff that will sometimes come up when you're looking at your career and business in this way. So I talked about this earlier, where once you kind of open up the realm of possibility, people can have a tendency to sort of freak out because it brings up so much about their life purpose that they have to revisit. So a little while ago, I felt 5 years ago that my big reason for being on the planet here was actually to help the environment as much as possible. And I was doing that in the best way I could. All of my entrepreneurial activities, we donated a certain percentage of our proceeds, and we donated tickets and all this stuff every year to nonprofits that had environmental causes, so that those nonprofits could go and get more funding. And I was really excited about that, and that was good, but it wasn't perfect. So what I know now that I did not know then is that actually my life purpose has much more to do with partnership and community than it does with the environment. They're kind of two sides of the same coin, but switching my emphasis from my passion over the environment to my passion over forming real community for people has changed everything. It's changed my goals. It's changed how I see myself. it's changed. A lot of people have like life purpose, mission statement type things. It's changed all of that, and so that kind of knowledge is, why you are really here. We all have so many myriad gifts, but what are the gifts that are so uniquely our life purpose, our dharma, that we need to be very clear on, this is a big part of why we are here. And once we have that clarity, it just informs and colors every decision that you make in your career and business. Maybe you have a great opportunity come along, but really and truly anyone could seize that opportunity. When do you know that it is uniquely yours to seize? And when do you know to say, no, thank you, that sounds wonderful, but it's not quite right for me. I know there's something better coming along. So that's that big life purpose or destiny type stuff is what we are looking at in week 4. And again, all of these, you get to actually learn the spreads that we're going to be reading for you. You get to be emailing me your questions before the webcast, that week before the webcast, and you get your cards read on these subjects every week. So even if you can't actually be there with us in person for these webcasts, the webcasts are recorded, so you can still send questions in. I will still read your cards on these webcasts, and then you can just listen to the readings in recording. They're posted right after we're done with them. So the It Takes a Village spread, week 5. This is really useful when you get to the point in your career and business when you're doing things that aren't entirely just up to you. Most of the time if we're entrepreneurs, a lot of the time, we go into our projects and it's mainly just us at the start. But of course, if these projects grow, if they grow into organizations or communities or nonprofits or corporations, of course, eventually it's going to take more than just you to have these projects succeed. It's going to take a community or a village. So these spreads really outline, if you have co-workers or, teachers or professors or bosses, or you're a manager, or you're going into business for yourself, this tells you all about the people environment that your business is living in or within. Okay, it tells you all about all of the other people in your business and how they're influencing the business and how to best use their energies in business. So the It Takes a Village spread. And you can use this even if you're not an entrepreneur. Of course, if you have a co-working environment, or you have a class that you teach, or you're a boss and you've got people to manage, these It Takes a Village spreads can be used to gain insight on the other people in your work life around you. So that's the type of issue we're doing in week 5. And then week 6, I put this one last because it's the one that I think it really serves you to have 5 weeks of background in receiving tarot readings before we do week 6. So the reason for that is basically, non-attachment. So sometimes our career and business can be really stunted if there is something that we massively have an issue with or massively fear that we really need to get over to progress in career and business. You talk to some of the most successful entrepreneurs out there today, and they talk about their career or their business or their wealth building as self-growth. I heard a woman a couple of months ago tell me that her career was the single biggest self-growth tool that she has, because her career allows her to face her demons, to slay her dragons, and in a way that is so powerful and gives you such direct feedback that you hardly ever get that opportunity in other areas of your life. If you're raising children, maybe you get some buttons pushed raising children. I have 2 children. and you get to work through your stuff as you're raising children, but not in the same way that a career could do for you. So for instance, if I'm doing an aspect of training over at Successful Spirit Summit that I'm actually personally uncomfortable either with the training or with some of the people's projects in the group that I'm training up, I have to really kind of face that dead on and get around it or slay it before I do that training. Otherwise, the training is very negatively impacted, right? So dragon slaying spreads really address the big deal issues that we have been put here to heal and to work through, that are actually a massive part of our Dharma. Perhaps an element of your career or your business really can't take off until you slay a dragon or two internally. So a good example of this would maybe be a person who really wants to work with a certain population, but for some reason, every time they look at working that population, every time they reach out to that population, they reach out to organizations working with this population, they get a no, they get this isn't going to work out, or not now, or whatever, and this keeps happening. Foundationally, there may very well be something there within themselves that is kind of sabotaging that opportunity before they start. Maybe they're looking at the wrong population, for instance, and the reason they're looking at that population and they've convinced themselves that that population is the one that they need to reach out to might be for reasons to do with their internal fears rather than the actual best population for them to work with. So for instance, if someone picks a population to work with and the reason for them picking that population is something like, well, that population, there's a lot of them, or, so it should be easy, or there's money there, or, they're usually very receptive to my work. Those are all really great reasons, but perhaps the population with less money attached to it, or the less populous population, or the less excited population would be one that ultimately benefited more from the work, but is just trickier at the outset and pushes some buttons and some fears and things. So we need to slay those fears. We need to slay those dragons that are holding us back from seeing that there might be a better way or a better approach or a better set of people to approach in our career or business. I hope that makes sense. And fears can come in so many shapes and sizes in our businesses and forums, and they can come up as getting in the way of getting in front of the right people, or getting in front of the right funding, or getting in front of the right interviews, or whatever it is. So it's kind of nebulous to discuss fear, but I hope that gives you a flavor for some of the things that we'll be able to address when we get to week 6. So hopefully that gives you a really good idea of this 6-week course. You get to email me questions around those subjects. I'll read them live for you, so you actually get 6 tarot readings here. They're really nicely designed for you to really progress in your career and business. But beyond that, you're going to be a really well-equipped tarot reader after you've done this course, and you could be going and doing career and business readings for other people. And I will say this, just as a businesswoman to you, if that sounds like something that you would really like to pursue, think about this. In terms of what people will actually, pay you for to read cards for them, career and business issues are some of the most highest paid readings I have ever done. Because, of course, this directly affects people's bank accounts, people's pocketbooks. So it's on a par in the psychic community with being able to give financial advice almost, you know. And so people will pay for career and business readings from tarot in a way that they just really aren't motivated to pay for readings about anything else. So this is actually a really great skill for you to have if you're a tarot reader, to go into career and business readings more. I would say, you know, just as something to do for money, you might really find that doing tarot readings for career and business are a really good idea. So, you know, you'll be able to do that after this course goes. So as you know, I'm just kind of outlining in this slide for you what you get with this course, because I did kind of do a bundled package here for you to really put some stuff in place, support material wise, around these 6 group career and business reading sessions that will really help you get the most out of this course. So the 6 group career and business reading sessions will be live on Tuesday evenings from the middle of January to just after the middle of February. You actually get a reading for yourself in each of those. And beyond that, of course, you can have these trainings then, these sessions, as your how-to guide for how to do this for other people. Now, there are certain other trainings and sessions that I have handy that I think might really complement this 6-week session for you. So I've gone ahead and added them here for you as bonuses. As many of you know, last year I did a set of sessions, energy connection sessions, called archetypal reconnection sessions. And I'm adding 4 of those to your package here for you. And I'm going to tell you why. So archetypal reconnection sessions, they're a little bit difficult to understand, I guess, but you know, you guys are, you know, tarot people, so I'm going to try this on you. I think you have a better chance of understanding this work than most people do. So there are archetypes that we can ask for support in any of our endeavors in the world, and these archetypes vibrate in certain patterns and set frequencies that allow us to move and embody into that archetype in a way that allows us just more easily to energetically move into whatever experience we're trying to manifest. So for instance, I'm giving you access to 4 of the archetypal reconnection sessions that I've done this year. The Magician one, the Magician is a really great archetype to embody and start vibrating with frequency-wise, because the energy of the Magician archetype allows us to manifest. It allows us to get that inception, fire starter kind of quality going on in ourselves, to really shift out of stuck patterns, to really notice our power, and to really manifest great things on the planet and in our lives. So if you have a session that allows you to fully energetically start vibrating with the frequency of the Magician archetype, magic can happen in your life. Massive manifestation can come in because energetically you are aligned with that after going through this reconnection session. The Chariot session is more to do with that follow through and keeping your motivation and your energy in peak conditions so that you can really drive into any project that you want to without losing steam. When obstacles come your way, it doesn't put your fire out. You keep going until you have your goal. You know, so that chariot energy I equate very much with warrior energy as well. And so this Chariot session that I'm going to give you access to really allows you to vibrate with that energy. So hopefully that will become very, very handy in a career and business, you know, package. The Empress and the Emperor sessions have to do with other energies that I feel are really important to just really maximally tap into if you're going to be successful in career and business. The energy of the Empress has to deal with nurturer energy, abundance energy, relaxing into abundance, receiving abundance, receiving money, allowing yourself to be nurtured by abundance and money, and allowing you to fully open up to the idea of nurturing other people through abundance and money. all of those things obviously very important to energetically be aligned with to have a successful career and business. And then the Emperor session that is on here energetically allows us to vibrate with the frequencies of authority and power, and being really solid in our own power and feeling like we really are able to step into something as an emperor would, with authority and command and self-assurance. So all of that self-esteem stuff is in here, but beyond that, to have complete command of your work and your projects. Those are the things that energetically become very easy after doing the reconnection session with the Emperor. So each of these sessions I'm going to give you as part of this package, because, and they're 1 to 2 hour sessions each. They're energy sessions that you can do as many times as you want, and you will always have these available to you. So if you feel like you're just not manifesting, or you're not receiving nurturing, or you're not fully in authority, or you don't have the drive to follow through on a project at any point, and you have these sessions available to you with lifetime access after you purchase this, you'll be able to do these energy healing sessions as many times as you want. Many of you who are coming into this course may not yet have all of the other courses that I have over at Virtual Tarot School. Indeed, if you're coming from hearing about me first over at Healing with the Archetypes or Successful Spirit Summit, you may not have any of the Virtual Tarot School courses. So I'm throwing in any course of your choice here for you to really fill out your tarot education. And again, you have lifetime access to any of these courses that you choose, and they're a great supplement for you. Tarot for Beginners would be the natural course that I would recommend throwing in here if you've never touched tarot before. And this will give you a really great background on just basically how to read the tarot cards. Now, the Masterclass Series 1 or the Masterclass Series 2, they do deeper dives, more in-depth dives into the symbology, the symbolism, and the mythology behind certain cards in the deck. So if you already have a background in tarot, you might want to look at Masterclass Series 1 or Series 2. Series 1 goes in depth on the 4 suits of the tarot, and Series 2 is actually currently being recorded, and it goes in depth, a 1 to 2 hour class on each of the 22 major arcana cards of the tarot are coming out in Masterclass Series 2. So they're all really great. The Celtic Cross practice sessions, if you want to add those to your package here, then you know, that session works a lot like this one, where basically instead of doing 6 different types of spreads like I'm doing in this course, we went over the Celtic Cross spread for 7 weeks. So it's dozens of individual real life readings of the Celtic Cross spread. And the Celtic Cross spread is just sort of the basic 10 card layout in tarot that most of my students were feeling like they wanted more practice with, and they wanted more examples of readings of this spread, because it is a 10 card spread. It takes a little bit of mastery to do. So if you're into mastering the Celtic Cross spread just through lots of different examples of this spread being read, the Celtic Cross practice sessions are awesome for that. Or if you want, you can add the Healing with the Archetypes courses here to your package. And we discussed how these work when I was discussing the 4 archetypal reconnection sessions that I am adding to your session here. But if you're interested in that interplay between archetypal, you know, tarot archetypes and energetically vibrating with the frequency of these as sort of energetic gifts that you can give to yourself, the Healing with the Archetypes courses, there's 22 of them. One for not just the 4 archetypes above, but there's 22 major archetypes that we can reconnect to and vibrate with the frequency of, to add elements of power, energetic frequency power into our lives. So Healing with the Archetypes is that 22-part energy healing course that you can go through. Now, all of these courses, you get to choose one of these, and you just basically get to tell me, hey, you know, add this bonus course to my package, Laura, and I'll send it off to you. These courses individually, they're for sale on, you know, one of my websites or another of my websites for between $67 and $247 per course. So really great deal there for you. Now, in addition to all of this, I mean, there's a ton of you who are coming into Virtual Tarot School's courses who really haven't gone through or haven't had the opportunity to go through Successful Spirit Summit. The summit I talked about right at the start of this introductory video that you're watching right now. And this summit is all about how to use online marketing to spill over into developing passive streams of income into your life. So if you had anything that you could teach to someone else, for instance, anything at all, there's a way to develop an online course for that, and then to get that online course in front of online traffic and sell it. And if you can do that once, then you've got one passive stream of income that can start coming into your life. If you can do that 10 times over, if you can spend 10 weekends in the next year developing 10 courses, then all of a sudden you've got 10 passive streams of income that can come into your life. It can make your finances way more secure. It's fun to play with an online marketing format as well. You know, you get to meet amazing people and explore some of your skills that you may not have a chance to work with in your physical life. Maybe like me, you live in a small town, and teaching tarot to people in Flagstaff, Arizona is kind of limited, because after a while everyone in the town who's wanted to learn tarot has done so and my business dries up. Well, when you have the world at your as the opportunity to teach your course, there are billions and billions of people out there, and you never run out of students, So taking something global that is a very special interest of yours can really be financially viable if you do that, online and globally, in a way that it just isn't usually to do physically in your hometown. So if that sounds like something that you would like to learn more about, how online marketing works, and I talk to you in this summit just like, you don't know anything about online marketing. You don't have to be technically inclined to take this summit at all. I'm an English major. I taught myself everything about web development that I know. So I approach it like I'm talking to other, liberal arts English majors with no technical background at all. So it's a very, very good grounding course on exploring the opportunity of working in some online marketing streams of income into your life. And it's for absolute beginners, but the recordings that I'm giving you in this package come from a weekend summit that I ran. So Successful Spirit Summit is usually a weekend the way I run it. And so that entire weekend's worth of recordings you get access to as part of this package. And you can go through those at your leisure at any point that you want. Now, people have paid, I think the last time I ran Successful Spirit Summit, it was a $637 ticket value. So I've, $500 for the recordings is, usually what they would sell for. But, they just complement they complement the work of Tarot for Career and Business so beautifully that I'm just gifting you the entire weekend's worth of recordings as part of this package. So that's just a tremendous value right there. So if you add all of this up, of course, you do get a total value of this package of over $900. Because you guys are the first people through this Tarot for Career and Business reading sessions, and you get the live courses, you're actually helping me out tremendously, because I like to read real people's readings. I don't like to read fake readings that I'm making up. That just doesn't work for me when I'm doing courses. So I want to teach people how to do these 6 special Tarot for Career and Business spreads, but I want to do it through real life example. So for, and obviously it's going to be, great for you having 6 tarot readings for 6 weeks straight. I mean, you're going to be able to sort out a lot about where you're going in your career and business just by, coming, and participating in this course. This is going to be life changing. But you're also doing a tremendous service for me too, because you guys are my seed students into this class. You're kind of my guinea pigs. So I wanted to give you a really great gift of a deal to come in to this class package. So as you can see down there at the bottom, the price if you enroll this week for this is only $265, or you can break that up into 4 payments, and that's fine too. The payments go through every 30 days if you choose that option. And there's a button just below this video that you can click through on to become a student. I'm going to leave that button there until I get to the limit for the class attendance. I can really only accept the first 20 people into this course, and the reason for that, of course, is because you guys all do get live readings here as part of this course. And well, 20 I can do. Usually of those 20, I find about 10 will actually submit questions when I do these courses. So 20 is my limit, just to make the webcasts full and in-depth and insightful, but not laboriously long. Okay, and what I can do if all 20 of you call in with questions every single week is I can simply do a couple of webcasts so that everybody for sure gets all of their cards read. But I can't accept more than 20 people into this course for that reason, obviously. So if you're seeing the sales button underneath there to click through and buy this currently, it's because I'm not at that 20-person limit yet. But this is going out to about 4,000 people, so I'm sure it will fill up fairly quickly. So if you want a spot in this class, go ahead and take a moment right now to fill out that form while it's still available to you, and that way you don't have to worry about it. And I hope you join me, and thank you very, very much for sitting with me through this explanation of everything that we're going to be getting up to in this course. Click the sales button below to join us now. About over $900 in value here in this package fee this week at $265, or 4 payments of $70. So love to see you over there. Have a wonderful new year, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.